Hi everybody, this is Jeremy Moskowitz, Group Policy MVP and founder of PolicyPak software, and in this video we're going to learn how PolicyPak integrates directly with VMware View. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me go ahead and run my VMware View here, and I'll connect and I'll log on as probably the same way your users do. I know everybody's a little bit different. And you can see I've got two computers here. In fact, this one is my computer, the manager computer of the IT infrastructure. And this is the my example user. So he's using a computer called Computer 1. Let me go ahead and click Connect here, and we'll use VMware View and scoot on into his regular user virtual machine, his virtual desktop here. And just because you are using VMware View and using a virtual desktop technology does not somehow mean you're magically more secure. In fact, you could argue that the problem is worse because it's you can now have VMware View clients on lots of little different types of machines. And if your applications are insecure, then your network is insecure. Let's go over some examples. By way of example, let's go ahead and run Acrobat Reader here. If you go to Edit Preferences. Now again, I'm just a regular user here. A regular user can do all this stuff we're about to talk about. For instance, JavaScript. You want to make sure that you tell them to uncheck Enable Adobe Acrobat JavaScript. The question is, how are you going to do that? How are you going to deliver this setting using Group Policy to your virtual desktops? Well, we're about to find out. So the idea is that if this is checked, which it is by default, you want to uncheck it. Same idea here with security enhanced. The default actually is that this thing should be enabled, but if a user just clicks and unchecks it and clicks OK, and my screen resolution isn't exactly big enough for that, so let me go ahead and just make this a little bit bigger here. And well, I'll just go ahead and click Enter. That'll be the same as OK. So I'll say yes here. I have, as a regular user, I've now decreased my security posture on this virtual machine. And if this is a persistent desktop, it's exactly the same as if it was on a real laptop or a real desktop. So as a regular standard user, I've just made my company less secure. If we were to go to Updater, most organizations don't want virtual machines to automatically install updates as it's automatically set here like this. You probably want to do not download or install updates automatically, but actually users don't have access to that particular function. This is only something that an administrator could do, but how are you going to set that setting? Well, we're going to show you. So let me go ahead and click OK here and close this out. So that's one application with a lot of issues that you're going to want to manage. If we talk about Mozilla Firefox, very popular application. Some companies utilize Firefox as their browser of choice for their web applications. And if you go to Firefox and you go to Options here, there's a lot of settings here for a user to possibly screw up. And moreover, there's a lot of security settings that they can work around, and you don't want to be in the place where users are working around your important security settings, even on your virtual desktops. So we're going to learn with PolicyPak how to lock this stuff down inside your VMware View virtual machine. Let's go ahead and move on to, say, WinZip. So WinZip here, I happen to be using the evaluation version here. And let's go to Tools, Options. Actually, it's under Settings Options now. And you'll see here there's just a ton of places for a user to possibly screw up. Now, I'm just using this as an example application. If you have homegrown apps or other third-party apps, these are the kinds of things that you're going to want to deliver using whatever technology you want to deliver to the virtual machine. Maybe that's ThinApp, or maybe that's SMS, SCCM, whatever you want, or have it baked right into the image. That's all great, but the question is, how do you control and prevent users from working around these settings? And this here in passwords, I mean, you might want to set the minimum password length to something important like 10 or 11 and then check all these checkboxes, and also prevent users from getting into settings and getting into trouble. So how are we going to solve all of these problems? Well, again, this is from the user perspective here. So let me go ahead and I'm going to log off here as this user here. And now I'm going to rerun my VMware View client, and I'm going to log on as me, the administrator, to my management station. So that's this guy right here. And as I'm logging on here, I'll go ahead and make this a little bit bigger again for us to play with. What we're going to do right away, and you might have seen me do this in some of my other videos for PolicyPak, is we're going to take the pre-configured policy packs, which are downloadable when you trial PolicyPak.com. You can see we've got a whole army of packs that are available to you. And for these examples, we're only going to pick 3 or 4, so or 2 or 3 rather. So we've got Acrobat Reader that we want to use. We've got Firefox that we want to use here, and we also want to use WinZip. But there's a lot of other applications that have a lot of security concerns, like Flash, Java, Link Client, just all these applications. And by the way, we're building more packs every day. So if you go to the website, you'll see all the packs that we currently have available to you. If you've seen me do some of my other videos, you know that all you have to do is go to the Program Files, PolicyPak, Extensions folder, and what we're going to do on our management machine is we're going to take the pre-configured packs that we provide, for instance, Acrobat Reader here, and we're going to take the pre-configured PolicyPak DLL and just copy it over. And we're going to do the same thing for, say, WinZip here. We'll do the WinZip one as well. And lastly, we will go to Firefox. Great. So what we're going to do, we've now copied all the policy packs that we need. Whoops, I've copied the wrong file. Let me go ahead and copy the right file, which is the precompiled PolicyPak DLL. So now we've got the 3 policy packs ready to go. We're ready to use group policy to do everything we want to do. So we'll run gpmc.msc here. We're going to just use the regular good old-fashioned group policy management console here. I'm going to dive down under I happen to have an OU called PolicyPak for this handy demonstration here. And against all of my users, I'm going to create a new GPO here, and I want to manage each application. So for instance, if I want to manage all my important apps using PolicyPak, I can do it all in one group policy object, or I can split it up into multiple group policy objects. There's really no wrong way to do that. So you see here we've extended group policy so that there's policies, there's preferences, and now there's PolicyPak. If you dive down under PolicyPak applications, you just go to New, Application, and you'll see all the packs that you copied in. So you could also create your own packs for whatever application you want, including homegrown apps or third-party apps, as well as, like I said, all of the pre-configured packs that we happen to have already. So we'll just do these one by one. So here's Acrobat Reader. We'll go ahead and just do this guy first. We'll go ahead and click on it here. And there's a lot to configure here, so we'll just go ahead and get started. So for JavaScript, we said we want to uncheck that, but unchecking it's not enough because a user could recheck it, and we don't want to do that. So PolicyPak is an awesome superpower where you can right-click and disable or hide the control in the target application. So not only are we setting the setting, but we're also going to disable it in the target application so a user can't work around it. If we go to Security Enhanced, you saw me uncheck that checkbox as a user. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that it's checked and also, once again, disabled. So I'm checking it and disabling it. For the updater, we want to do not download or install updates automatically. We're going to force that in. Let's just check this out, make sure this all works. So we've locked and loaded that directive inside the group policy object, and let's go ahead and see it work. So I'll move this out off the screen here, and I'll rerun my VMware client, and I'll pick computer 1 to log on to, and we're going to log on as that user who's going to get affected by this group policy object. Now again, this could be the first time they log on. This could be the n number of times in the future. They could be getting a completely new virtual machine. They could be changing job roles. No matter what happens, because PolicyPak acts as part of the operating system, like all group policy does, we work alongside VMware View perfectly. So let's go ahead and run Adobe Reader and see what happens now. So as a regular user now, I just go to Edit Preferences, and let's see what happens. Let's go right over to JavaScript, and look at that. We've unchecked it just like we said, and it's grayed out so a user can't mess that setting up. That is awesome. We click on Security Enhanced. Sure enough, we've checked the checkbox, and we've made it so that the user also, again, can't work around that setting. Let's go ahead and go to the updater. Boom. We've also now set it to do not download or install updates automatically, probably what you want. And as a regular user, they can't change this setting anyway. So that is a really helpful thing. So there we go. 1 down and 2 to go. So let's go ahead and let's do another one. So back in our management console here. We'll go to New Application, and we'll go ahead and pick Firefox here. So we'll go ahead and click on Firefox here. And let's click on some important things like maybe the home page. So we'll go to www.policypak.com. I mean, there are a lot of settings here, a lot of security things for you to set for your company. I just want to prove a point that it works perfectly inside of VMware View. So I'll go ahead and click OK here and show you what it looks like on the client. So I'll move this out of the way here. I'll close this window out. Now, I don't have to log off and log back on for this to take effect. If I run GP update, it's the same as if I were to log off and log back on. Because PolicyPak is group policy, it just runs in the background. These settings would just take effect naturally, but we're just go ahead and accelerating the hands of time here with GP update. So you could log off and log back on, get a new VDI machine, anything like that. Let's go ahead and run Firefox and see what happens. And let's see, there we go, perfectly. It connected to PolicyPak.com, and I didn't even let it finish. Maybe I should, just to prove a point. So there we go. So we set it, and if I wanted to, I want to also show you that if a user decides they want to go to the options and change the home page to something else like gpanswers.com, and they click OK. Let's see what happens the very next time Firefox is run. In fact, I should just be able to run Firefox just like this. Boom. Just like that. So long story short, the point of PolicyPak is that we deliver settings and lock those settings down so users can't work around it. And even if they do work around it, we're going to re-guarantee those settings always in the background. Okay, we got one more to go. That's WinZip. So let me go ahead and bring this my machine back here, and we'll go to New Application, and here's WinZip 14 and 15. And let's just set a couple of key settings here in WinZip 14 and 15. Go ahead and click that right there. And for passwords, we're going to just jam this up to 11. And while we're here, because this is a really important setting, we're going to right-click over it and disable the corresponding control in the target application. And we're also going to, let's go crazy. We'll check all 4 of these checkboxes, and we'll do something we haven't done before. We'll right-click and hide the corresponding control for this middle one. So we're going to literally remove the UI for that. Cameras, gosh, we don't use cameras at our company, so we want to disable the whole tab in the target application. So again, just because you're using VMware View doesn't make you more secure. You have to be proactive and make this more secure for them. So we're going to use PolicyPak to deliver these important group policy changes that deliver the settings, lock things down, and make that application more secure. So let's go and run GP update again on the client machine here. All right. So now that we're all updated here, let's go ahead and rerun WinZip. Go ahead and we're again using evaluation version and click on settings options. Let's head on over to passwords and boom, we have the settings set in group policy using PolicyPak. We deliver the settings. We lock down the UI where we want to, even literally removing UI from the application to make it more tight for the user so they can't possibly screw things up. And you can see here we can remove the tabs so users can't even click on these scary things or things that are security concerns that you don't want them to click on. So in summary, that's the idea behind PolicyPak and the Better Together story with VMware View. You're doing a great job getting VMware View out there. That means you're using virtual desktops. That means you're saving money. But unfortunately, it does not somehow make you more naturally secure. If you've got applications deployed using whatever technology, you need to still configure those applications to ensure that what you set is what they get. And that's the motto here at PolicyPak. So thanks for watching. This is Jeremy Moskowitz again, and we're looking forward to having you try out PolicyPak software. So click on the big old download button on the right or make contact by giving us a call. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.